Welcome to another One with Math video. In today's video, simplifying factorials with variables. In order to simplify factorials, first we need to talk about what is a variable factorial, such as n factorial. Here we're going to start with n and multiply every integer less than n all the way down to 1. So n times n minus 1 times n minus 2 times n minus 3 times n minus 4, n minus 5, n minus 6, all the way down to 3 times 2 times 1. We can also break n factorial down a different way. For example, take a look at this blue portion. N minus 1 times n minus 2 all the way down to 1. This is n minus 1 factorial. So n factorial can be written as n times n minus 1 factorial. But we can also break it down this way. Take a look at this red portion. Starting at n minus 2. This is going to be n minus 2 factorial. And so n factorial can be written as n times n minus 1 times n minus 2 factorial. Now it's time for simplifying. Problem 1. We have n factorial times n plus 1. So we have an n factorial, and this time instead of breaking it down, we have n plus 1, which is a number above n. So if you combine it all together, we're going to get n plus 1 factorial. For number 2, we have n factorial times n squared plus 3n plus 2. We'll break down the n squared plus 3n plus 2 to be n plus 1 times n plus 2. We have a n factorial. We have a number above n, which is n plus 1, and a number above n plus 1, which is n plus 2. Combine all these together, we get n plus 2 factorial. Example 3, we have a n plus 5 times n plus 4 times n plus 3 factorial. Since we have an n plus 3 factorial, and we have one number above n plus 3, which is n plus 4, and one number above n plus 4, which is n plus 5. We can combine all these together to get n plus 5 factorial. What about division? We have n factorial divided by n minus 2 factorial. Since n factorial is larger than n minus 2 factorial, we're going to break down the n factorial. So we're going to break n factorial down to n times n minus 1 times n minus 2 factorial. We stop right here because if we look at the denominator, it will be exactly the same. So we can cancel this out, giving us n times n minus 1. Example 5, we have n plus 2 factorial divided by n minus 1 factorial. The numerator n plus 2 factorial is larger than the denominator n minus 1 factorial. So we break down the numerator. So we have a n plus 2 times n plus 1 times n minus 1 factorial. We'll keep the denominator same, so we can cancel them out, leaving us n plus 2 times n plus 1 times n. And example 6, n plus 1 factorial divided by n plus 3 factorial. Notice the denominator, n plus 3 factorial, is larger than n plus 1 factorial. So we break the denominator down. So for the denominator, n plus 3 times n plus 2 times n plus 1 factorial. The numerator will keep it as n plus 1 factorial, which will cancel. So our answer is going to be 1 over n plus 3 times n plus 2. Comment, like, subscribe. Thank you.